everyone. Happy Friday night. Hopefully you're out and not at home like I am at 11 o'clock. Donovan, I'm just going to start with you. I think it's awesome to hear that UNCW has brochures that support the LGBT community because I think that just first of all, expanding people's support is going to be the biggest issue in terms of getting LGBT students comfortable within the higher education community. And then how you skipped over to a statistic that I thought you related really well into a story you had, that 75% of white students enter college immediately after high school, while only 35 to 50% of black students enter immediately after. And that often words were described in association with blacks, such as dangerous, in danger, at risk, and all those other terms you mentioned. And how you had that teacher or some other member of your school that discouraged other black students from attending college, saying that that wasn't in the cards for them, or that that isn't something that's within their realm of possibility, and how that is the source of the problem. If the teachers at the lower level schools and primary and secondary school aren't encouraging populations such as black students to attend, then that is just going to create this ripple effect of moving through their life thinking that they're not supposed to go off and do something. And if we can change that attitude at the lower levels, maybe we'll see that statistic of 35 to 50% jump up to 75%, or hopefully close to that. Jeremy, you made a really good point when talking about the model you discussed, that not all gays are going to regress through each one of those stages. They may skip some stages, or maybe just stay in one stage for their entire life. And it's important as student affairs practitioners to recognize, regardless of the stage they're in, what they're going through, and how to support them, whether they're in the denial stage or the pride stage or whatever it may be. The thing you said you didn't like about the model was how it didn't take into consideration what other factors are in your life that form your social identity, such as race or socioeconomic class. And you mentioned that blacks are affected very differently by being gay, but this model does not take that into consideration. And that's a really good point, that that's a major weakness in the model itself. Well, you just had a really great attitude about the importance of being supportive in higher education for all our students and fellow faculty and staff that might also be lesbian, gay, transgender, bi, and just that regardless of the stage they're in, regardless of where they're coming from, it's our job to 100% be supportive and not show any sort of discrimination. And also, you mentioned, which I totally agree, that higher ed is slowly growing to accept that there are more than just two genders, and it's not just male, female, feminine, masculine, straight, gay. There are a lot of nuances, and there's a lot of in-betweens, and those need to be accepted just as much as gay are. And I feel like we're moving in the direction of accepting gay, but we haven't maybe fully accepted bi or transgender, which is important to keep in mind, that, we have growth in the right direction, but it doesn't mean we've reached our end goal yet. And Sam, just another good point, saying that sex and gender are not synonymous, and that's something that I think you were in the class with me. Even I can sometimes get a little bit skewed on the definition. But just to keep those two as separate as we can, and to incorporate that into faculty and staff trainings, the difference between sex and gender, so no student ever feels alienated by their particular identification. And it was interesting to see that your examples of your few gay friends from high school growing up, how their stories aligned with our articles, that they picked schools that they felt would allow them to feel comfortable in coming out. And that's obviously the case, that, a student who wants to feel accepted is going to pick a university that clearly demonstrates acceptance for that sexual orientation and for that gender. Overall, really great points. My athletic advising experience is still just kind of moving along at the same pace. I don't feel like I'm having, unfortunately, a huge successful impact with these students. A lot of them still don't show up, and at this point I'm mentoring about 6 different students off and on just as they come. We probably only have a couple more weeks left, but hopefully y'all are going very well and you're making some great connections with students and relating other theories that we have in our readings. Have a great weekend, y'all, and see you next week.